Oh god, HD cameras from my smartphone. People can probably tell what I talk about today, considering what I have the title listed as. Yep, my thoughts of my first run, not my second run, because that's going to be the Let's Play run of Ni no Kuni 2. Oh, this is going to be embarrassing to talk about much later when I get down to this, because it's going to be a lot more analytic when I actually do research of the game. And I'm doing this in my pajamas. I don't think anyone really has to know that, but I am doing it in my pajamas. Ah, man. Ni no Kuni 2. People know that I'm a huge fan of Ni no Kuni 1, developed by Level 5 Entertainment Games, I believe, in Europe. So, obviously, we're going to sit down for a long walk over the game. Also, it is really windy. I'm probably not going to edit this out. Oh, man, Ni no Kuni 2. It starts off really well. Starts off with a good motive to carry on the game, like most RPGs from level 5. And then it slowly descends to a crawl around the middle part, which once again, we kind of expect that with Level 5 Entertainment. God, it's so weird to actually know people are actually outside now. I don't give a crap. I need to talk about a game, I need to talk about a review, and I need to get paid for this anyways. That last part might be optional. Anyways, going on to the story. Not a lot happens. You're a prince? King? Well, I guess if your bloodline, your first generation dies, the second generation's listed as king. I don't want to go about the analytics about how royalty works. I sure as hell don't even get how normal life works. So, going over that, it starts off a good premise, it's a good idea, it doesn't have too many flaws within the starting limits of it. God, what am I trying to articulate here? There is a very particular thing I'm trying to say, but I cannot think about the proper phrasing of it. I should probably just go over my own experiences, because I'm kind of scatterbrained over the last, month now of marathoning that game and trying to beat it. I did a lot of side quests. Level 5, once again, known for side quests. Ni no Kuni 1, known for side quests. Ni no Kuni 2, known for the exact same thing. But it's styled a bit differently in the first game. If people play the first game, which, this is a massive nod to you guys, because I know I did, I enjoyed it. The first game, you did side quests, and you were rewarded with set stickers, depending on how late the game is, or how early the side quest was. That is completely null and void in the second game. There's no stamp, there's no collection, there's no, I want to say set number of quests, but I feel like there is a set amount of quests, but they kind of refresh once in a while. It's a weird quest system that they added, and it was really interesting, just for like maybe end game levels or whatever you need to get through the game. And also the familiar setup from the first game is absolutely gone. The game that basically was like, hey, let's play a Pokemon game without it being Nintendo, or the people who make Pokemon, which is, oh man, what, Fan Geek, Fanfare, Fan something, Game Freak, there we go. I am smart. I also didn't take notes. I'm doing this all off the top of my head, and, me being the streamer slash live commentator I'm getting fumbled and startled. What a big shock. So the familiar system is completely gone, but they replace it with a quite unique system with, I think they're called Poochies or something. They're like little spirit things, each one having a different element, and there's only, oh god, I'm dumb. Physical, water, fire, shadow, light. So only 5 elements. No, wind, 6. I probably said wind, but it's just weird. And those generally act as your bodyguards for the fights. Some have healing capabilities, some have offensive capabilities. So support, defense, and offense. I could talk. Typical affair for any kind of RPG. It's just more or less about your playstyle. But there was something added to Ni no Kuni 2 that I don't remember being in the original. And if it wasn't the original, I feel stupid, because I played that game in the hard way then. In Ni no Kuni 2, there are battle tactics. So what the tactics really dictate from are what you're strong against, what your rewards are going to be at the end of the battle. So let's say you wanted more item drops, you could go set a skill to that. Or if you wanted more, let's say, like battle experience, etc., or skill points, I believe that's a thing too. You get that too. It's really cool and interesting because you could, kind of customize to the fight you're approaching to and not feel completely underpowered. Even if you are underpowered by levels. Levels don't mean anything in this game. Oh, that's not necessarily true. Numbers are still played in large majority of this game. But it's not based off levels. It's not based off skill either. So it's a nice casual run for someone who's going to take the time and learn the system. It's not really a bad system too. I think it actually will elevate the gameplay for level 5 games if they so choose to make a Ni no Kuni 3. A Ni no Kuni 3. I have such a hard time pronouncing that word apparently. But now we get into the default responses that people are going to have to the game. Oh, it's a waste of time. Yes. Is it a bad waste of time? No. Reasons being, let's be fair, the bounty hunts are still there, so you're going to go after some tough, really tough monsters, maybe in their hundreds, depending how late of the game you are, depending on etc., etc. But there's always challenging fights in these Ni no Kuni games. People just don't really recognize it because, let's be fair, people usually see that E10 and up rating on the first game and go like, nah, it's not good. But for me, someone who's actually played more rated E games than anything else, and that was a very loud noise. That was also my neighbors. Well, yeah. Where was that? Yeah, at E10 and up, people go like, oh, that's not worth a damn. Nope, it was actually a pretty damn good game for the PS3 exclusive. It was not an Xbox 360 or a Wii U title. But moving away from the first game, this game is rated teen, so it's a little above what you expect it to be, considering the first game was 10 and up. It's only, 3 years difference? But then again, it's also been about 3 or 4 years since the first game was released in North America. Now, Japan, I believe, has got that later than we did, and Europe got it first, mostly because, let's be fair, it's a European developer. And publisher. Publisher? No, publisher was Bandai Namco, right? So that's a Japanese publisher. Either way, it got published in Europe, got released in Europe first, we got it later, and blah blah. Okay, going back to the negatives. The time wasters that's not grammatically correct at all. It is the fact that you have to build up your kingdom, and I know a lot of people are going to feel like that's not welcome in an RPG. But think about how many mobile games we have nowadays. Every mobile game is just a time waster. Let's take some of the perfect examples that I like to play. Let's take Final Fantasy 15 Empire, A New Empire. That game is literally just sitting on your phone watching numbers go up. For someone who likes numbers, I guess that's not a bad problem, but, that can be boring for a ton of people. Final Fantasy, not really 15, because I can't really say that. But yeah, it's just if you don't have time to waste, then don't play games. And I have a lot of time to waste, considering the weekends I don't work. So that's why I've also been marathoning Ni no Kuni in a really strange format for myself. But I also did this in such a way where I wouldn't get bored of it. There are so many doors opening and closing today, and it's really freaking loud, and the wind's not helping. That's enough to complain about the actual world around me. Let's go back to the title of the game. Yeah, the kingdom is a very long, tedious process. But hey, it also takes a couple, I want to say a couple, millennia before an actual kingdom could form itself way back in the day in history. So, Rome was built in a day. Put that phrase in your head. Try to memorize that one. God, there was so much more I wanted to talk about, negatives, but I really feel like that's about it. Because, you start off with nothing, you slowly, gradually get yourself to somewhere, and when you get somewhere, you blast that door wide open and go boom, progress. So yeah, I would say Ni no Kuni 2 is probably a pretty good successor, although they changed format quite a bit from a JRPG style, that was kind of action-based now that I think about it, but it was more of select your attack and figure out how much damage and calculus that way. Wow, Ni no Kuni 2 is just a numbers game, where you're just going around slashing the crap out of anything that moves practically, gaining levels and not a whole lot else to it. Or at least what people generally probably play it as. I don't. So yeah, for Ni no Kuni 2, for quite the swap of development and release history, it was pretty fun. I would play it again. I'm going to play it again in a couple months actually. So when this video goes live, I'm going to count down to at least 2 to 3 months before I play it again. That's enough time for me to forget. That's enough time for anyone to forget this video ever exists, even though it's going to be on playlist for everyone to see forever on. God, I'm so bad at these reviews. I do it all at the top of my head. I don't have a script. Don't have anything really planned. But yeah, that's my first and really only opinions about Ni no Kuni 2, of having good and bad reflections on people. And if you have a PS4, pick up Ni no Kuni 2. You're not losing much, and you're probably gaining more than you're losing, because, let's be fair, my opinions on PS4 are pretty negative. Minus Monster Hunter World, minus other games that I play with friends and other stuff like that. But the PS4 was always built for the challenge, so take that, Sony. Suck it.